welcome to the EarthtonesGirl podcast and the Rhinebeck recap episode. The format of this video is going to be a little bit different today. I'm not doing my usual intro. This video is to bring you all along on the amazing trip, journey, experience that I just had, that many of us just had this past weekend in Dutchess County, New York, which is where the New York Sheep and Wool Festival is held every year, lovingly now known as Rhinebeck. So I am so excited to bring you along and show you everything that happened this weekend and give you some backstory and everything. I did post quite a bit, a lot of pictures on Instagram of me with various people, various knitters and podcasters, and it was just so much fun. This was also Rachel of Treehouse Knits. This was her first experience there. And I kept running into a lot of people that were there for the first time and seeing Rhinebeck through her eyes. I've been going for, gosh, close to 15 years now. So I was going to Rhinebeck before it became Rhinebeck. And I would go with my parents and my sister, and it was just wonderful. It was a quiet, beautiful, lazy day, wandering around from barn to barn. You had plenty of room to move. There were sheep, and there was yarn and fiber and amazing food. Nothing like what it is now. I wish I still had a lot of pictures. I mean, obviously I wasn't doing this back then, but I wish there were some way to show you what a quiet event it used to be versus the mecca that it seems to have become. It's this huge event now, and that's wonderful. It's amazing, and I love what it's become, and I love that I've been there to watch it grow and become this event. And it can be overwhelming. It can be really overwhelming, and it can be incredible, and it was all of those things all rolled into one. Exciting and nerve-wracking and fun and overwhelming and loud and almost claustrophobic at times, because there are so many people in the barns and so many people walking around. I mean, you really have to be sort of elbowing and squeezing your way through things, and I wouldn't change it. I really love what it has become. I know it's overwhelming for some people, and again, to watch this through Rachel's eyes was really amazing. And to see her and meet her for the first time, to see her in person and meet her for the first time was just so special. She's amazing. She's an amazing person on our podcast, and she's amazing on Instagram, and we have FaceTimed before, just ironing out details for the cows that we've done together, the cow that we did together, and you know, just talking to each other, commiserating about things, or getting advice and feedback from each other on various things. And she's been incredible then, but to finally be sitting next to her, be standing next to her, eating breakfast beside her on Saturday morning, it was took it to a whole new level. And she's just incredible. Rachel, I absolutely love and adore you. And we were roommates on Friday night, and there's so much to tell you and to share. So stay tuned, and I'm going to, like I started to say in the beginning, the format of this is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to try to break it up into segments for you, because I unfortunately and fortunately, okay, so let's pause for a second. There are a lot of podcasters that attend Rhinebeck, obviously, and a lot of them I know did a vlog style. So as they went through their day and went through the whole weekend, you know, it started with them, you know, getting into cars and getting on planes and traveling. So you got to see them from the beginning of their journey straight through to the end. And I don't know, I just didn't do that. I wanted to do that, but also really wanted to stay in the moment. And it was kind of a push-pull for me. I don't regret anything at all. I do wish that I had done a little bit more of a vlogging type style, but I think this format's going to work too. So what I've decided to do here is break this video up into segments. This weekend started for me on Friday with Needles Up. So I met Rachel at the hotel that morning, and then we hung out together and chatted and all of that. Then we went to Needles Up, and left Needles Up, had lunch, and then we went to Indie Untangled, which was in Saugerties, and that was, I'd say maybe a 30-minute, not even 20-minute ride away. So we went to Saugerties, and that was for Needles Up, and then went back to the hotel, which was Best Western in Kingston, where Needles Up was being held. And we spent some more time. We went back to Needles Up in the afternoon, into evening, and hung out there pretty much until it ended, and helped people pack up, especially Legacy Fiber Arts, Sue and Chelsea, and we helped them pack up and, you know, get loaded back onto their car and just sort of get out of there at the end of the day. They all needed to rest because they were on from 12 in the afternoon until 6, and that's a really long day. It was so wonderful reconnecting with them. Chelsea and Sue and Chelsea have a very special place in my heart, as you, I'm sure, know from watching past episodes. They mean the world to me, and I got to meet Lily, who is Chelsea's daughter. She's about 9 months old, and I got to meet her for the first time and hold her and smell the top of her head, and magic. Magic, that's all I can say. Just pure, delicious baby magic. And just to see them and to talk to them, and not as much as I think all of us would have liked, but it was just the nature of the event. And that's another thing that happens with these events. You can make it what you want it to be, but a lot of people have limited time, and I had limited time. So you're trying to pack in as much as you can in a very short amount of time. So there isn't always a lot of time to really stop and sit back and pull out your needles and knit with people. I did get to do that, which is actually the first time I think I've been able to do that at Rhinebeck. Like really sit and knit and talk and laugh. There was so much laughing. My face was just so sore. There was so much laughter and joy this weekend. I don't have any words for it. And I could say the word amazing about 1,000 times. I should probably have a ticker for how many times I say amazing, but it truly was. And so like I said, we did get time. I did get some precious time to sit and really chat and connect with people, and other people I wanted to be able to do that with, I didn't get as much time, but that's okay. There will be other events, there will be other times. Thank goodness for Instagram and Insta stories, because we do get to have that connection. Even though it's a distance, we still get to have that connection with people. So all of that said, grab a cup of tea, grab your knitting, come along with me, and I will narrate my pictures and just take you to Rhinebeck for a little while. So I hope you enjoy it. I'll see you in a second. So it is Friday morning. I have dropped off the kids. I have my tea and I am all ready to go. So excited. Doesn't even begin to cover it. I got up to Kingston about 10:30 in the morning, and this beautiful sign was waiting for me when I pulled into the parking lot, and then I met Rachel, finally! I can't tell you how joyous and wonderful this meeting was. Oh my gosh. So here we are, once Rachel and I stopped hugging and squealing in the lobby, we got online and got ready for Needles Up. What an amazing day, what an amazing event. There were about 10 or so vendors in this amazing conference room, and the atmosphere was low-key and full of joy and laughter, and a lot of reunions too, a lot of people that we got to meet and hang out with. Here I am I'm hanging out here with Christy and Tristen and Kay, and there's me giggling. And here I am with Sue, oh, my beloved Sue, who is one of the founders of this amazing event and also one of the dyers behind Legacy Fiber Arts. And here I am also with Sue again and her daughter Chelsea and the grandbaby Lily. What a wonderful blessing it was to finally meet her. And here we are again, just oohing and ahhing and giggling with each other. And the fun continued. There was a lot of chatting. Events like this are really, really full of talking. And there's Sue and Chelsea with Sara from Love Sock Wool. And here I am with Allison of Daisy Lane Designs. And it was so wonderful to see her again. I hadn't seen her in a while. And here we are being totally silly with our kissy faces. It's, again, one of those moments where you just wish you had a little bit more time, but you know what? You make the best of it and you have a great time. Here is Rachel and I with Kate from Hawthorne Cottage Craft, and Kate flew in from Ireland for this event. I'm sure she had other things, but definitely attended the event. And the incomparable Amy Beth of Fat Squirrel Speaks. Oh my gosh, what can I say? She's amazing. And here I am with Amanda of Doghouse Pottery. This was her first time vending at this event, and she was so gracious, a little shy, but absolutely wonderful. And I got one of her mugs. And here I am with Melissa from Well Knits, and of course, Kristy Glass, who we all know and love. And then one of my amazing friends, there is Christy again, and also Paige, who is Paige the Framer on Instagram, and she was selling her knit mats, and here we are all framed in a large, huge knit mat. I can't tell you how much shenanigans and happy moments were taken with this frame. Thank you, Paige. And this pretty much sums up the day. It's the end of Needles Up. We are packing up and getting ready to go. And there is Lily and Chelsea just relaxing and reminiscing. So here we are a little bit later in the day. We have had lunch, and Rachel and I are now at Indie Untangled. Woohoo! This was a first time for both of us. I had tried to get into Indie Untangled last year, but it didn't really work. They decided to change the format and do tickets this time, and it was amazing. We had 2 hours, and oh boy, did we make the best of it. So here is sort of a brief layout of the room. I don't even know how many vendors were there, but oh my gosh, some incredible people. Hugh Logo was there, and I'm blanking, Lavender Loon and Shelli Can, and oh, I did a little bit of damage here. And here I am with Nicole of Hugh Logo. I was having a very intense fangirl moment with her. I'd wanted to see her and her yarn in person for so long. And there is also Mina Phillip joining us. And here I am with Amy of Canon Hand Dyed. I bought quite a bit from her, but you'll see all of that in the haul. And this was just some more displays from her booth. I think I bought the most at Canon Hand Dyed. I'll give you the backstory on my relationship with her in another episode. And here's the bag that you could purchase from Indie Untangled. Like I said, we had 2 hours and we had the best time ever. And here we are on Saturday morning. It is Rhinebeck Day. I handed out these little hugs and kisses to people that passed and asked for them. I was very happy to share those and get my name out there. Here I am with Rachel. As you can see, the two of us are just bursting with excitement and can't wait to get in the door. It was just, the energy was just tangible that day. There she is waving. And here is just a little sample of the line. We were all waiting to get into that big barn off in the distance, and there were other entrances as well to get in. And here were some sweaters on the line. Some knitters wearing their Papa sweaters by Junko Okamoto. And oh, it was all about the sweaters, this Rhinebeck. And here's Rachel and I again with this lovely lady whose name escapes me at the moment. But last year I ran into her and she was wearing the Acorn sweater. And here I am modeling or holding mine because I didn't finish it in time. And I just thought, okay, you know what? Don't stress about it. Just finish it for next year, which I did. And here's a full view of this wonderful woman, wonderful knitter in her sweater. And I finally got to finish mine. And just what are the chances of running into her on the line waiting to get in? I was so excited to see her. And she remembered me. I remembered her. And here we are, still waiting. And there's Rachel waving. Oh my goodness, we're all very excited. There's Chante from Harlem Pearls. And here we are on the inside. There I am being interviewed by Kristy Glass. Tell me about your Rhinebeck sweater is her video. And if you've never seen it, you absolutely have to check it out. I will link to it down below. And here are some more wonderful sweaters. I don't remember the name of this one, but the big sweater of the day, I think, was the Tecumseh sweater. Definitely go and check out Kristy Glass and you'll see all of them. And here I am with the delightful Sydney, who is Squidney Knits on Instagram. I was so happy to see her. She works in Purl, Soho in Manhattan. and the delightful Beth Brown Reinsel. I have taken classes with her, and here she is selling her new or updated Knitting Guernsey book, which I purchased a copy of. And this was a very special moment for me. This wonderful woman found me at Rhinebeck, and I had sent her a charm when she posted that she was going through kind of a hard time, and she is now wearing it on her necklace, and it was so touching. It was such a special moment to see her and see the charm and hear her story. So thank you so much for sharing and finding me. And here I am, the Three Musketeers. There is Carolyn, who is Bloom Handmade Studio, and Ellen, who is knit by a lefty. And we were just making our way over to get some apple cider donuts, and here's just another view of the day. And we are now on the line waiting for some donuts. Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you how amazing these are and so worth the wait. And here they are, the incomparable apple cider donuts that is a requisite when you attend Rhinebeck. So for those of you coming next year who haven't been there yet, you have to get an apple cider donut. And we are sitting at a picnic table just going over our purchases and noshing and eating and laughing and enjoying the day. There's Carolyn and I enjoying our donuts with I don't care faces on. Of course, everybody's always watching their weight until you get to events like this, and then it's, you know, diet? What diet? And yes, that is the evidence of the deliciousness all over her hand. Of course, there wasn't very much knitting going on at this point. And I think that Rachel's face in this picture completely sums it up. That's how delicious they were. And okay, one more shot of the donut. There's Ellen in the background and Paige with the same, oh my gosh, can these get any better look on her face? And I had to get a shot of Ellen's shoes, not related to donuts, but they were just so spectacular with her beautiful scrappy socks. So in a minute, I'll meet you on the hill. Another highlight of Rhinebeck is the podcaster and Ravelry meetups on the hill, and here it is. This is just a sampling of the number of people that meet up there, and this picture of me, Rachel took this, and it pretty much sums up my feelings in the moment on the hill. I got to see Patricia, who is P4Chen, and she means the world to me, to both Rachel and I, and I'm so happy I got to reconnect with her. And you know, it was just a time to meet up with old friends. Here I am with Eric, and here are the three podcast sisters. You know, I'm just gonna sort of let the video run and take it all in. And here's Sara, who is carrying a project bag that I made for her, and it was just so wonderful to see something that I've made, a project bag, out in the world. And Dianna, who is Cake and Vikings. It's just such a wonderful time for all of the podcasters to reconnect or connect and meet one another for the first time. I mean, here's Melissa from the Spicy Homemaker podcast and Julie from Sweet Sparrow Knits, and it's I don't know, I'm stuttering because there's just not enough words to really describe the joy of the day. And it's funny, I have to say, for the first time I really felt that Sandy of Sandy by the Lakeside, and it was just wonderful to be there and to finally, for the first year, I really felt like an equal with all of these amazing podcasters. It was a joyous afternoon. There's Shameka. I had so much fun. And it wouldn't be Rhinebeck or the Sheep and Wool Festival without seeing some sheep. This is what makes, this is the medium. These beautiful animals provide the medium for what we do, and I'm ever grateful to them and to all of the farmers and herders and shepherdesses that rear and raise them. Rhinebeck was joyous this year. I got to spend time with friends, I got to relax, I got to knit and laugh, and it was just joyous. And it's funny, I at the end of the day, it is rather hard to drive home, but I had that time in the car alone, and I'm really grateful for just sitting there reminiscing and singing some songs to myself and just loving what I do. So I don't really think you can do a video like this without showing what you bought. And I will go into all of the details in the description box below, but as you can see, I had a great time. I love everything I purchased. There's some Hue logo and Canon hand dyed, and I finally got a shirt by Shelli Can, and these were my purchases at Rhinebeck. It was just great. Coming home from an event like this can be a little challenging. The re-entry, as I like to call it, can be hard, but seeing these two beautiful little faces and all the hugs and kisses was just wonderful. And this picture was taken by Carolyn Bloom a couple of days after, and as you can see, I am still on such a high. And here's my sweater again. I have had such a wonderful time this year. I am grateful to all of my fellow knitters. I am grateful for being a part of this community. It's a gift. It really is. Here are my on the hill mitts from Kay the Sock Lady, and I'm just happy. So I hope that you all enjoyed that recap. It was a little bit glitchy, and I did a double voiceover there at one point. It was the first time I've ever done a voiceover type of thing before, so I kind of like it, but I realize the videos can go a little bit fast, so so I think if I decide to do that again, I will plan that out a little bit better. But you know, it was an experiment, and for the most part, I like how it turned out. I hope that you all enjoyed that. I know I've said, and I said at the beginning in the very first video, that I was going to say amazing a lot in this recap, and because the word is really fitting for the feeling of the day. You are in a state of amazement the whole time. A lot of times you're fangirling over things, or fanboying over things, whatever the word is, and you're seeing people in your world, in your universe, that are the celebrities, so to speak. And yes, we're all knitters, we're all the same, we're all equal, but you do get excited when you see people that you admire so very much. I mean, I think what will really help is to look at a lot of Rhinebeck recap videos. Go onto YouTube, type in Rhinebeck recap, because a lot of people have hashtagged their podcast so that you can find them. And go and look. You know, this is my video here is just one perspective, but there's so many perspectives from the weekend, and so many people have pictures with a lot of the same people, but a lot of different people. See the sweaters in the background. You know, don't just listen to the person talking, but look at all the sweaters. The sweaters were just spectacular this year. I think the two Andrea Mowry, definitely, hands down. I mean, she was sort of the designer of the day. There were so many Tecumseh sweaters, I mean, one after the other, and it's funny, it's that particular sweater, I love the color work, I absolutely love it, and I don't know that I personally will knit it, but I have to say I was really tempted because some of them were in the colors that I just love. There were so many earthy versions of it. I mean, there were bright, beautiful pinks and blues and greens and yellows. I mean, the colors were just mind-blowing, but I definitely like the more subdued, obviously, or I'm an earth tones girl. I definitely like the more subdued patterns or color choices. There were a lot of browns and golds. There were some reds, and then the crisper ones where there was a white background with either a dark brown or a black with gold. Oh, I think that color combination might be my favorite, my absolute favorite. They were just gorgeous, and all of these sweaters, you can see them on Kristy Glass's Tell Me About Your Rhinebeck Sweater video. I will link that in the description box down below. I think that's almost a 2-hour video and recap of all of the sweaters, and you get a taste of everyone's excitement. There's some first-time Rhinebeck visitors and first-timers even in the United States, first-timers in Rhinebeck, first-timers in Dutchess County, to see their energy and their excitement. There was one woman, I don't know her name, but when you watch the video, you will know exactly who I'm talking about. When I watched that video, I could not stop laughing at her excitement. I mean, she was just, I want to say screaming, but just howling with joy at the sweater she was wearing, at meeting Kristy Glass, being on her video, talking about her sweater. I think it was her first time in Rhinebeck. It was just, wah! She basically does that for her whole segment. And people were kind of stopping to watch her, and it's so much fun because this is one of those few places that knitters get to go to where they can behave that way and everyone will understand. Everyone understands, fully understands the joy that they're feeling. It's also a place where you can touch random strangers and get into really deep conversations with random strangers over their knitting, over why they are there, backgrounds. I mean, you can cover a lot just in, hey, what sweater is that? And all of a sudden, 10 minutes later, you've covered, birth to that day. It's just crazy. And random people can just come up and, oh my gosh, and they just want to touch your sweater, and, you're walking past somebody and to feel like a random touch on your back or your arm, it's all okay. What happens at Rhinebeck stays in Rhinebeck. I had to say that at least once, but it's true. It's really true. You're shopping, you're spending way more money than you ever want anyone to know that you've spent. I spent a lot, a lot of money. But I love everything I bought. I really do. And I know that I will knit it all. And in my next episode, I will have some stuff to show you. There's a lot to cover, and I'm going to do another episode very soon because I do have a lot of Cal information to share with you, so I want to talk about that, but not today. Yeah, there's no words. Rhinebeck 2018 is now one for the history books. I can't wait for next year, and for any of you attending, hoping to attend next year for the first time, you're going to have an amazing experience. You really are. And thank you so much to everybody that came up to me and said hello and asked for a sticker, asked for a card, that I gave them my little hug and kisses packets out to. It just means so much to talk to your viewers, to people that follow you on Instagram, that people that watch your podcast. It means a lot to me to connect with all of you. It really does. And I've said it so many times. I am so grateful to all of you for spending time here with me. Excuse me, for watching, for subscribing, for commenting. It makes this all worthwhile. It really, really does. And I love doing it. I love sharing and connecting. I know I'm being repetitive, but I just don't think I could fully express to all of you enough how special this is and how wonderful it is and how grateful I am to have it. So yeah, I think that's Rhinebeck. So just 2 minutes on my sweater. Here it is again. I will stand up so you can see it. There is a back view. Here are my sleeves. This is the Acorn sweater, and people absolutely loved the acorns. There were so many comments on that, and I loved how excited everybody was. This again is the Acorn sweater by Junko Okamoto. There were a lot of her sweaters there too, which was really nice to see. The Papa sweater was a huge one that was there. I saw a couple of, the rug sweater was there. I didn't see another acorn. I'm sure there's so many thousands and thousands of people there that I'm sure there was somebody else wearing this as well. But it's knit in Blackwater Abbey yarn, which I believe no longer manufactures yarn. I think they've been discontinued. I don't know if you can still get it overseas. It's made in Ireland, so I've not looked into whether you can purchase it overseas or not, but I know that the American distributor is not carrying it anymore. And yeah, so this sweater, I had started it last year. It's finished. I love it. My first top-down sweater. I cannot wait to knit another one. One of the things I did purchase from, where did I purchase it from? Canon Hand Dyed was yarn to make the throwback sweater, which is a cardigan by Andrea Mowry. I have all of the yarn for the color work portion. If you haven't seen that sweater, I will add a link to it down below for you. And I'll definitely talk about that some more in my next episode. And yeah, I can't wait to cast that on. I also have yarn for the Weekender sweater. I'm blanking right now on who the designer is, but everything I mention I will put down in the description box. But I have the yarn sitting right over there and can't wait to cast that on too. It's sort of a beautiful smoky gray blue kind of color. I've never knit anything in that color, but I love it, and I wanted something still earthy but slightly outside of my box. So I think that's the perfect sweater for that. It has a lot of people. That was another big sweater this weekend. Or this past weekend was the Weekender sweater. It has a very sweatshirty feel to it, and I think it looks wonderful. I saw it with jeans, with leggings, with boots, shoes, with skirts. I can't wait to make mine. So yeah, I'm hoping to get that on the needle soon. There's a lot of knitting to catch up on for the cows, but again, we'll talk about that later. And the other thing that I finally finished, I didn't end up wearing them, but I did finish them, were my On the Hill mitts, and these are by Kay, who is the crazy sock lady. I was wearing the Rhinebeck Roomy hand warmers in the video when you saw me talking to Kristy Glass, and I am on Kristy Glass's video, maybe I think around the 48 to 50 minute mark on her video. So if you want to go and check that out, that's kind of fun. I will link that down below as well. And here they are. They are all done. I love them so much. They were so easy. The cabling, can you see how gorgeous the cabling is? It's just beautiful. I just love these. And the yarn, this yarn is also discontinued. I have a large stash, and I know that can be very frustrating when you're watching a video and you're like, oh my god, I want to make that and I want that yarn, and then you go to look for it and it's not there. So I apologize in advance for that. But this is Sanguine Griffon that I used for these, and actually ran out. So if you can see, the thumbs are a little bit darker. This yarn, like I said, was made by Sanguine Griffon, and the company, I think there were 2 dyers in that dye team, and they went their separate ways, and each of them started their own dye company. And this yarn is, the name of this colorway is the Longhorn Beetle, and this colorway was dyed by one of these 2 ladies, and I think it's the Bowfinger Beetle, also a red, and it picks up on all of the dark red tones in this, and I still think it looks absolutely wonderful, and no one's really going to stop me, and so I just went with it. And if anyone stops me to talk about that, then I have a whole other problem. But here they are. I love them so much. So these are my Rhinebeck knits, you guys. So that pretty much sums up this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment for me down below. I will be back very, very soon. Hopefully within a week or so with another video, because I have October cows to announce, and lots of other things to share with you all. So thank you so much for spending some time with me and watching today. I hope some of you get to go to Rhinebeck next year. I hope to meet more of you next year. And for those of you that I did meet, thank you so much again for coming up and saying hello and for talking to me. You all mean the world to me, and this podcast means the world to me. So thank you all very much again. Thank you. I will see you all again very soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.